Okay, hi everybody. I'm Lisa Kastner, and this is Tihi Hazlett, and we are the hosts of Storyteller's Happy Hour. And we are thrilled to have you here with us. Today is actually extra special. Um, we are going to get a tour of Tihi's brand new home. He just moved. So, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Tihi.
Awesome. Yes, I just moved to Puerta Vallarta, Mexico, and I'm staying in a villa in El Centro. I've been working on this tour every once in a while when we have company come over, so I'm really good at it. Let me grab my keys so I don't lock myself out. My roommate is gone. She's in a business dinner. She's working on a big hotel deal. So first, here is the neighborhood which I live.
Okay.
This is the it's a very hot and they only do dinner. And then this is, I don't know if you can see it, the name of my villa. I stay in Romantica Kikea is the name of the villa that I'm in. This is, when you step in, this is the living room. We have some replica indigenous sculptures. Um, a beautiful replica painting of a famous portrait in Mexico that you see often in graffiti and stuff like that. I will also point out the terracotta tile roof with wood beams, and you'll notice all these arches. So my landlord is actually an architect who built this house, and he was inspired by Spanish churches. So you'll see a lot of recurring architecture. So now we're gonna go into the kitchen. This is where I'm like working and live broadcasting from. There's a big mirror. Here's where all our kitchen appliances are. Go up a few more stairs. This is my roommate's room. She's not home. We're not going to go in it. This is my bathroom. The maid is on vacation, so she hasn't had a chance to clean it in a while, so we're not going to go inside it either. And then we go up these steps. And this area is the loft. And this will be my office. The landlord he commissioned a female architect engineer to build me a custom desk, of which I also got to have some input on. So it's going to be a convertible sitting, standing desk. It's going to go right here. My bedroom actually has two doors. So I have the office door, I have the normal door, and I have this beautiful stained glass window. So let's go into my room. It's like French door style for my room. And my room is messy because the maid is on vacation. This is my bed, king size bed with like a canopy and a matching vanity. Where's the light? This is the custom built-in closet
Wow.
for my room. And then this is my private balcony. So we can step out, we can see the sun's about to set, and you can kind of see the ocean. Um, it's very beautiful. This is where I smoke my morning and evening cigarettes. And then we'll go back inside. And then because it's not raining anymore, I think I can actually get all the way up to the terrace. As soon as I fix that latch, because I don't want bugs to come in. Okay, so we go back downstairs. Oh, I really like this wooden sculpture guy. He's holding a pride flag. We call him the old man. And then this is where it might get a little choppy.
Okay.
But this is our patio. This is our laundry room and tool shed. And then here's our tanning lounge chairs. This is our plunge pool that also has jacuzzi jets.
Nice.
This is our like barbecue grill. and like hangout area. There's another stained glass window and like nice church feature. And then we're gonna go upstairs. This is a very scary vertical spiral staircase. And so it's not a good idea to do when you're intoxicated.
No.
So all of these are original from different churches around Puerta Vallarta or Mexico. And you can see past it, this is Hacienda San Angel. It was Richard Burton's old bachelor pad before he had a famous affair with Elizabeth Taylor and then moved right next to her. So this is terrace. And we have a roof hut and some more lounge chairs.
Uh-oh.
I might have lost you.
We're still here.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So that's the church. It's super beautiful. That's the sun is setting probably in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And this is the back view. So the building with the little round columns and Spanish tile, the one that's like right here, that's Elizabeth Taylor's mansion.
Oh, wow.
And that's a beautiful mountain there. That area of town over here is called Amapas. It's also up on the hill. And we usually get good signal up here because there's cell phone towers up here on the tops of these mountains. But now I'm gonna go back downstairs. And that concludes the tour of Romantica Kikea.
That's
I'll
amazing.
also, I'll ring the bell. There's like
So,
5 of them. We have a waterfall feature, but it's not working right now. We're waiting for a part.
hmm. Now, what's your favorite part of living in Puerto Vallarta?
I love this place. To be honest, the rooftop terrace is a little terrifying when you get close to the ledge because you're so high up. Um, but my favorite part, I would have to say, is like the romantic zone. Once you get La Zona Romantica, once you get downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. And it's very like old timey and yeah, and the bars are super cool. Everyone is super friendly here. Um, so that's my favorite part. My favorite part is the experience of being in the city, although this house is fucking amazing.
Awesome.
And yay, I'm about to join on my laptop.
Okay.
Join with computer so I
Perfect.
can.
Awesome. That was fabulous. I'm totally jealous. I'm gonna have to come and visit.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey. I was just saying I'm totally jealous. I'm gonna have to try and come and visit. What a great place.
I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me. That's not good. Why can't you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on. Let me see.
All right, I'm gonna log off and log back on again.
Okay.
If you can hear that. Okay, but I can't hear you at all. So let me log off and log back on.
Okay. So he will be right back. And when he comes back, then we're gonna actually we're gonna do our normal storytellers happy hour. And here's Ruben, or here's Tihi.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Oh no.
Can't.
We're having so many technical difficulties.
Why can't you hear me?
backup plan. Oh, wait. Is this better? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, now I can hear you. Yay. Okay, I figured it out. Thank goodness.
Good. Awesome. So
Yay.
I was just telling everybody that that was amazing. I'm gonna have to try and figure out a time to come visit you, which would be fantastic. We'll have so much fun.
Please do.
And that we were gonna go ahead and do our normal storytellers happy hour. Ruben's got his beer. I have my wine. So and they were really interesting, fun prompts. So I think you'll enjoy them.
These ones are good, really, really fun and interesting. Also, to explain a little bit of the rules, so just like every other storytelling time, we have a bowl of random prompts that can be literally anything. We don't repeat prompts. So there's like, you know, the ones that we pulled today won't go back in the bowl. So we pull a prompt. We each have like a few minutes to like come up with the story off the top of our head. And then we did that before we started recording. So now we are ready to go. And so Lisa is going to go first with this prompt, which is Sex in the City in quotes. So it doesn't have to be about the show.
No. Okay. So a long time, actually now I'm like, oh my gosh, it was a long time ago. So I was married before I married to my current husband. And I left my first husband, and I had always wanted to live in Rittenhouse Square because when I was a kid, I grew up in Camden, New Jersey. For those who haven't watched this before, which is at the time was one of the most dangerous cities in America. And one thing, like when we had money, what was a big treat was to actually go to Rittenhouse Square and like get ice cream. There used to be like a hand served sculpted ice cream shop and hang out in the park. And so for me, even as an adult, I have these just like amazing memories of Rittenhouse Square, and it has all these fantastic condos and restaurants and you name it. So I find this like super cheap 1 bedroom apartment in Rittenhouse, and I commute from Rittenhouse because I worked in the suburbs. And at a certain point, I decide that I'm gonna start dating again. Just casual dating, nothing special, whatever. So I do what everybody else does, right? And I get on those online apps I don't even remember anymore, right? The dating apps. And I was just kind of like, yeah, sure. Like if someone was like, hey, we should go out, I was like, yeah, sure, right? And so needless to say, I went on a whole lot of dates in a free fish period over a couple of years. And some of the more memorable ones, there was this one guy we met for brunch on a Sunday. And he was like really quiet the whole time. And didn't ask a whole lot of questions, but he seemed kind of out of it. And I was like, I wonder if he's high. And right when we were leaving, right when they came with the check, he says, yeah, I think after this, I think I'm gonna go and hang out at my place and, I'm gonna toke up. Like, do you want to join me? And the look in his eye I was like, there is something wrong with you. Like, he wasn't just talking about like smoking pot. Like, there was a little bit more going on. I was like, no, 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 we're good. Thanks. See ya. And the creepiest was I think I just met this guy for coffee, and he immediately acted like we had been together for like years. And I was like, no. And so he kept trying to like invite himself into the rest of my day. Like, oh, well, where are you going now? And like, I wouldn't tell him because I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
he then, I thought, so anyway, so I like kind of begged out from the coffee, and I realized he was following me. So
Not
he
good.
started following me home. So I started cutting through alleys and stuff, And and I think he finally realized that I knew he was following me, and he stopped. So, but I didn't go immediately home. I went someplace else, more public, and I think that's when he realized that. Yeah. So that's my weird Sex in the City
That's
story.
so creepy. Men suck though.
Right? Oh my God. I'm sure you, I mean, I have, lots of dating stories from that period. So, but yeah, those were two of the, like, what? Is there something seriously wrong with you? Like, yeah.
And the dude who seemed high, because he's like, oh, I'm gonna go toke up again. And it's like, how high do you need to be to get through your day? It's a Sunday.
Right, exactly. And like, he's like, I'm gonna go take a nap, you wanna come with me? And I don't know how to explain it. Like, when someone's got this look in their eye where they mean something else, like for them, this is a metaphor.
Yeah, yeah.
um, I'm not into that metaphor. Not with you.
No. And this is like before Netflix and chill, where at least that like would give you like some sort of like ease
Something.
into things. No.
Exactly. No, no. And the guy was really, really conversational, like the whole time. Like, we would talk on the phone and like super chatty. He's like, I'm gonna cook you dinner. I'm great at making, I forget what it was. It was something like curry. And I was like, great. I love curry. I get there, he barely talked. He spent his whole time in the kitchen. Like, I mean, like, I don't think we ever ate. Like, it hit like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'm so exhausted, and I'm so hungry. I'm just gonna go home. It was like
I've,
two different people. It was so weird.
yeah, like that's like definitely the intimidation date. Like I've had a couple of these like dates where like you show up and they're so intimidated and then like everything gets derailed. Um
And
I
it's like,
had
why? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I've like brought people back not to this apartment but my old apartment in Long Beach, which was not that nice, but like, it was fine. And people were just like, oh, you live alone? Oh, you have a 2 bedroom? You have a home office? Oh, you're like put together. And they start sweating and they get all
Oh,
weird. And it's like,
it's like, nah. Like, if this freaks you out, this is not a good fit. Like,
mm-hmm,
like, if you think this is the bomb, then this is not a good fit.
exactly. Because I was like, I live in the hood. What do you mean? Like, how do you think I can afford a 2 bedroom?
Well,
Um,
that's when you start saying, so how many roommates do you have? And like, how do you?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to be quite promiscuous though, so I still slept with that dude and the other dudes who seemed very intimidated anyway. What are
Whatever.
you gonna do?
If you're good, who cares? Well, but yeah.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right. So
So,
my prompt, which was a favorite one, I didn't think I was gonna get picked by me at all ever. So I'm really happy it happened. Is Beyonce.
nice.
So I have to start out by saying this, and I'm gonna get probably dragged or side-eyed from a lot of people. I was not I was a hardcore Destiny's Child fan because I love R&B girl groups, but I was not a big fan of Beyonce's solo career. Like Beyonce really, really had to grow on me. But what really did it for me was the Single Ladies video. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone thinks that like, the song is super catchy. I know the song is super catchy. I love the song, but as somebody who went to film school, the video is like stunning in its choreography. Like they do like a wraparound camera and they have to change how they light things because you notice their shadow. Like I watched that video so much, I noticed their shadow and they would just light it in a way to disappear the shadow when they wanted to like create this effect. And they had a lot of like long shots, which I'm a big fan of, like long takes with choreography. And so like that was my first time that I had to stand up and pay attention and give Beyonce her props because I used to be a hater. And I was like, she thinks she's too good for Destiny's Child, but I was like, she's doing something. And so then like, Beyonce comes out with more music. It's all great. Who Wants the World is great. She does a bunch of amazing live performances. And then Lemonade comes out.
Oh,
And Yes, yes. And we had no clue what lemonade was. Like there was the commercials, it was like Beyonce, lemonade. I was like, I have no idea. Like, is she selling lemonade? I'll buy lemonade. I don't care. Like, I was like, whatever. So the night this comes out, which is actually funny, because me and Lisa went to grad school together. So in Connecticut, I was living in New York City at the time. And in Connecticut, one of our classmates was throwing a party pre-COVID when parties could happen. And I took the train up to Connecticut, but I was like emailing back and forth. I think it was Tina DeMarco. And I was like, I will come to this party. However, I need a room in which to experience Beyonce's lemonade, like preferably with like-minded people, but preferably not. Oh, the other part of that was her visual album. So I saw that in DC when I was at a political conference at an after party, and it like blew my mind. That's when I became part of the Hive. So then Lemonade, so I'm already part of the Hive. And so I'm emailing Tina DeMarco and I'm like, I need a separate room for lemonade. And she was like, to drink lemonade? And I'm like, I don't know. Like Beyonce is doing this thing called Lemonade on HBO, and like I need a room for that with TV with HBO access. If you don't have this, I can't come to your party. And Tina was like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we have HBO, it'll be fine. So we go there. Oh man, and Chris Madden's not here because Chris was at this party. So I'm at the party. I'm having a good time because I feel comfortable and secure that I have a room to watch Lemonade in. And it gets time for Lemonade. I'm like, Tina, it's almost time for Lemonade. Where's the room? The room is the living room that also has the party. And I was like, oh crap.
Oh,
I'm like, maybe this will be okay. Hopefully everyone else is Beyonce fans. So it starts, and not everybody is Beyonce fans. And people who aren't Beyonce fans let themselves be made known very early on. Like before Hold Up. Before she
wow.
bursts through the doors with the water. Like some people are like, I just don't care for Beyonce. And she's like, and you know, it starts a lot of that Worcestershire poetry that I like fucking loved and I was like living for. And before I even knew who Worcestershire was, so I thought Beyonce wrote all of this. And I was like, when did she go to an MFA in creative writing? Because like everything is on point. And I was like, damn, Beyonce. So like people are being like a little snarky and I had like zero patience for it. So I was like, turn it off. I'm leaving. I love all of you here, but I'm getting on the first Amtrak train back to New York so I can go back to my apartment.
Wow.
Make it all the way back there. But then also the next day, because Beyonce announced her like formation tour. So my sister in Atlanta was like, come visit Atlanta for your birthday, because the day after your birthday, Beyonce is performing in Atlanta, the Formation World Tour. And I was like, absolutely, absolutely. So I come down to Atlanta. I don't often visit my family. Sometimes there's tensions. But I'm like, I will endure tensions for Beyonce live, right? So I'm like, oh my God, live. We even decorate ourselves in a bunch of like African inspired face paint to get ready to go.
Awesome.
And we go and we sit down, we have like great seats, and Beyonce does the show and it's amazing. It's way better than I ever thought. But there's one part where she's doing Crazy in Love and she remixed it to be more like a rock or like a punk song. But then all the visuals on stage just get really psychedelic. And my sisters are both like, they're like, I don't know if I like this. Like, what is this about? Like, and it made me realize that I'm like, I've done shrooms. I'm pretty sure Beyonce has done shrooms. And I'm pretty sure my sisters have not done shrooms. And when we're leaving, they're like, everything was great except for that one part that was just weird. And I was like, that was my favorite part.
to see. I'm sure there's a video of this somewhere. I
Oh, there has to be. There has to be. And I am convinced Beyonce has done shrooms. Like,
I don't doubt that at all.
yeah. Rich famous people, they do all the things.
They do all the things. Yep. All the things. I mean, there's a rumor that Beyonce and Jay-Z, for all the major award shows like the Oscars and stuff, they have their own private party after, and only certain people are allowed, and it is like the ticket.
Yeah. I've heard this too because Amelia Clark from Game of Thrones, who I'm a huge fan of, told this story on one of the late night talk shows that she ended up, I think, there after one of the award shows. And Beyonce came up to her and was like, I really like love your work. Like, I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, and like you're the mother of dragons. It's super awesome. But Amelia Clark is like kind of a nerd and a huge Beyonce fan. So she cried like right in front of Beyonce. It was like, oh my God, I love you. And Beyonce got weirded out.
Aww.
She was like, you're being a little weird. And like walked away from her.
Like, I get it, but like, so, long ago and far away. Well, I am actually a huge Beyonce fan. I was a Destiny's Child's fan. I had the same thing where I was like, I don't know. And then it's I don't know how to explain it. It's when she grew up, when Beyonce grew up and her music had real meaning. I was like, on point, boom. I am
Mm-hmm.
right there, right? So, I totally get it. But so back to the whole like weirded out thing. Long ago, long. Okay, yesterday, I was on a when I was a teenager. My best friend and I were on a syndicated TV show.
I've heard
Uh,
this.
yeah, we were on Dance Party USA and Dancing on Air, and um, it's funny because I there's a look that people get in their eye that if you're not used to it, like when they're like a super fan, it freaks you out because it's like holy shit, like because you don't think of yourself like that, right? Like you're just a person, right? Like I'm just a person. I just do my thing. I do it to my best. I'm always challenging myself. Like that's how you think of yourself, right? So when someone comes to you and they're like, they look at you like you're a god, it is like, I think I need to run away. Like that is your first reaction, you know, until you kind of change your mindset and you realize, you know, um, you do this, or we all do this. There are people in our lives that they've done something that meant a lot to us, and that's all it is. Literally, that's all it is, right? And then that grounds you back. So when you are approached by people in that way, you can just be like, thank you so much. It's so kind. It's so generous of you, because it is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they've allowed you into their lives, right? They've allowed you to be a part of what's important to them, and that's tremendous. So
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like a bridge between this Beyonce prompt and the Sex and the City prompt is this older white gentleman from West Hollywood who was a big fan of my book, who like reached out to me a lot, and then when he realized that I was single again, reached out to me a lot.
really.
And it's so weird to like, a it's just weird to interact with fans, right? I was like, I never knew I had fans. Like, what does that mean? But then like for the fans to be like, because they like, this was all online communication, so like the look is in the tone of how they type and like how quickly they
Right.
respond to you and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, like I'm just a dude going through heartbreak in Long Beach right now. Like you're hitting me up like crazy because you think you're something, you think I'm something that I'm like I don't see myself as.
But
It
you
was
are. Yeah, and it's all, I mean, it's all about like trying to view things from that person's perspective, and then that's what gets you back to, to grounding, because, you know, yeah,
yeah.
So, and it's, I mean, but yeah, that first second when you realize, like, holy crap, it's like, whoa, I'm just, I'm just whatever, right? Like, I'm just me, you know,
Hmm.
and it's great. I mean, that you're that grounded, but then it becomes okay, now, what is this person seeing or what are they feeling, right? I want to acknowledge that so they don't feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And the thing is like I love talking to fans. I never had ever considered in my life that I'd reach a point in my life where I had fans. But now that I have fans, I'm like, this is awesome. But like I take that seriously too, where I'm like, I will respond if somebody's like, oh, I'm a big fan of your book. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. And like do all the things. Um,
yeah,
there's a certain
it's
level of professionalism though.
right. Yeah, yeah. But I totally get the weirded out thing, especially, well, actually, at that point, like Game of Thrones, like Beyonce should be used to this.
Exactly.
But
And I wonder though, because I don't know how much Beyonce interacts with the general public.
oh, that's fair because she's always been in the spotlight. I mean, ever since she was a teenager. So
Yeah, yeah. And there was, when she gave birth to Blue, they closed out the whole wing of the hospital. So I'm like, I don't think Beyonce encounters a lot of everyday people, which is not to say that I don't think she's like tone deaf or out of,
no, no, no. It's
sync.
just not used to it. That's
She's
all.
just not used to it. But then to be in a room where if we can imagine that we're Beyonce,
Right.
and then you see somebody else who's like a performer, and you're like, oh, I admire your work, and then they devolve into crazy fandom.
Exactly. Then it's just like, whoa, okay, that's a little bit much. I didn't expect that. Yeah. No, I totally get it. I totally get it. So
It made me love both people even more because I was like, this is really sweet of Amelia Clark. Like,
it's like they're both real. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It makes you know they're both real.
Hmm.
I love that.
Ooh, maybe before we go, this is an impromptu one. Do we each have stories of celebrities that we've encountered?
I do, but they're all boring. And
Oh,
well, it's because so my father was a radio personality. So when I was really little, he would take me with him to interviews. So I've been meeting famous people since I was like 4. Um, so they're just people to me. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And yeah, so I don't really like I don't go out of my way. I might if they need like uh, I saw Bill Cosby on the train in going from New York to Philly, which makes sense, right? Because he's a Philly boy, and
yeah.
this was during all the scandals. I mean, like woo, and he needed help, so I helped him because he was, and he was like, thank you, I'm okay, and I'm like, all right, I just wanted to make sure you were all right. So
So you know that Pharma Boy, Mark Shrekky, who got sent to prison for increasing and price gouging HIV medications and things? I was on the subway with him
hmm
when he was going to surrender himself.
oh my god,
Like I went home by the end of the day and looked at the things because I was like, why does this guy look familiar? And he like he looks creepy. But like we met in each other's eyes and he kept looking at me for some reason. And I was like,
yeah,
why is this guy looking at me? And I was like, does this guy like me? Who is this guy?
yeah,
And then I remembered who he was.
wow,
So then the train gets off at stop. He's about to leave. I'm still going north.
hmm
He's about to get off near Foley Square. And I body checked him real hard. So I was like, you're the pharma bro. And like I went out of my way to like shoulder jam to like get him really hard. And
yeah,
then by the end of the day, I looked it up and like the pictures of him surrendering himself, he's wearing the same clothes. I was like, that was him. That was him on his way. And I was like, had I known for sure, I probably would have said something, but I just suspected. So I was like, I'm just gonna like shoulder check you hard, Pharma
Right.
Bro.
That was a far cooler story, man. That was a cool story.
That was also totally off the cuff. Because I had some other celebrities. I haven't met very many celebrities. I did meet TLC before they were famous, and I was very young. I did not believe they were going to be famous, and am still embarrassed about that.
Oh, why?
Because I told them to their faces, I was like, "You guys are too short to be music stars."
Okay, no, that's rude. No, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Got
I
nothing.
was like 9.
Oh, that doesn't matter. You were 9. That doesn't matter. So
Yeah, they got me back good.
they totally did. They were everywhere. So all right. Well, with that, hee hee. So much fun. Always fun. We will do this again next month. Next month, we've got some really amazing guests. We can't wait for you guys to join us. We love you, and we will see you then.
Yes, tune in next month.
Tune in. See you later.